especially, again, you've got to keep an eye on these hand sizes here. Definitely makes a big difference.
I got this.
Well, the turn kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And that's pretty telling. I mean, if you're Admirable, and you're like, yeah, my hand kind of sucks, but then you see that, and you're like, well,
his hand isn't that good either.
I guess I'm doing all right.
Oh, at least, you know what? The thing is, if, for instance, Darkwonyx that turn dropped a Karn, ThatsAdmirable would just probably shake his head and be like, oh, this is not going anywhere. But after that, I would feel like there's a chance still for me to win this game.
Absolutely. I think here you might just Black Knight on the board.
You think?
No.
Well, looks like he's going to set up some taunts. I actually think that this was a fine move. Like, you're going to be able to fight the board back a little bit. And at this point, is that Big Game Hunter really going to get any kills this game?
Oh,
I don't think so.
That's a pretty good turn 7 draw, don't you think?
I would say so.
Yeah. Probably.
Especially since you have Innervate.
Well, the thing is, I think he's considering using the Innervate to buff his minions with Scenarios.
I don't really like that much, to be honest. When you look at what is out on the board, like, he'd have to run one into this 1/1 taunt, and then he'd have to run another into this 4/2, which would basically take its health completely down to 1. I feel like the Scenarios, you just save it for a bit longer. I actually think this game, Scenarios, is eventually just going to bring out 2 taunts.
Okay.
Because it's not, I wouldn't play it before turn 9.
Okay. Well, if you Ancient and you get the other Wrath in the deck, I believe you can kill the big game with it, and then kill the other 2 remaining creatures without losing any of yours.
Yeah, that would be pretty huge. And even if you can't, you can Innervate your hero power to take out the 1/1, and then kill both their minions, only losing one of yours. So that's like a pretty powerful play to have left, a 3/1 and a 5/5 against an empty board.
I think I'd keep the Innervate, though.
Maybe. I'm not... I mean, it can be really good to save with Force of Nature, that's for sure.
I also think it's really good to save with Scenarios. If you can drop another creature, and then if you already have a couple, drop the +2/+2 action.
Yeah, that does make sense. Like, maybe drop it out with a Harvest Golem or something like that. That can be really
I just
powerful.
feel like the Innervate on the 1/1 doesn't really make that much of a difference, because if you attack into the 2/3, he's going to hero power.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you attack the 2/3 into the 4/2 and the 3/3 into the 1/1, it's pretty much the same outcome.
Oh, but he's actually going to do the buff. Or no, he's actually going to get the 2 taunts, which is actually completely fine as well. Because again, by buffing the minions, he doesn't gain a whole lot here, whereas I think the extra 2/2s is actually better, because unless there's like an Innervate swipe, oh, look at that. Not the best hand right there. But, oh, that's a good draw, Azure.
Let's get a swipe. Oh, almost.
Well, he can easily play that at least, right?
And he's going to play the Black Knight.
Ah, yes. Well, you know what? That turn actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. When I saw him draw that Innervate, I was like, oh my god, this hand is garbage. But
well, the issue is that with Force of Nature in hand, we're not that far off from lethal damage right now.
That's true. 8+6, that's pretty darn close.
Oh, it's +7
like, you can
as
deal
well.
15, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Well, I think this turn is just like maybe clean up slightly, because even though it looks like he's very close to lethal, you've got to be careful, because if we have the combo in his opponent's hand, he's super close to lethal as well. In fact, that's like 30 damage if he has the combo.
That would actually be lethal.
It's actually so funny how quickly this happens with Druid if you have that combo. And he does have half of it with that Savage Roar.
Yeah.
So I think you play some cleanup duty this turn, and maybe put just a little bit of damage on your opponent.
You can use the Keeper of the Grove to clean up the board, and the hero power to kill the 2/1. You're not left with that much of a board, but the opponent's left with none.
Yeah.
So you can't argue with that too much.
Well, that definitely gives you an incoming lethal. Let's see what he does here.
I think the play here is to
just hit one of the big guys and then run your 3/2 into it.
Might actually do 5 to the face.
Yeah, he might, because leaving the 4/4 out I think doesn't even matter.
I think it kind of does because of spell damage. Possibility of a swipe.
But what does spell damage swipe really do here? I guess it doesn't even clear the board. You know, I think spell damage swipe
look at that.
Well, it's a good thing that he got rid of all that stuff on the board, isn't it? That would have been lethal.
I think here you can even consider doing a charge Druid of the Claw to take out the 2/4. Oh hey, charge Druid of the Claw.
Oh my god.
To just YOLO.
Well, he's setting up himself for a possible lethal next turn.
Well, he's setting himself up for getting lethal if Savage Roar gets drawn.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
Sun Fury, not a terrible draw here.
I think here you
I think I had Ancient of Lore.
Ancient of Lore, see what you get.
And then you can just taunt something very, very easily. And I'd put the Ancient of Lore in the middle of those two, to be honest.
What?
No, actually, maybe on the side. Maybe on the side, because you might want to just have him taunted.
I think I'd want either the Ancient or both the big creatures, so I'd put it to the side of
the right
Cenarius,
side.
like he's doing.
That makes sense.
There's Wrath. You can take out the Panther with just the Wrath and the 2/4, but I think he's going to push for damage, seeing as he's he's going to have most likely lethal next turn. And I think here I just taunt 2 creatures up, regardless of which ones they are, just 2 creatures.
Well, he's already used Black Knight. I think I actually would put it just on the 5/5, because if you put it on 2 creatures, then the 5/4 is actually going to be the one that dies, not the 5/5. Because if you do it on the 5/5, he still needs to find 1 more point of damage for it. So unless he has a swipe, this becomes a bit more efficient. Yeah, I guess you could silence it. That is a possibility. But he already used one of his keepers, I believe.
Oh, wow.
I think you actually go for the combo here. Because if you combo...
You clean the board.
Yeah. If you combo plus Innervate, you actually can clear the entire board, but then it's 3 cards on the board.
That Innervate. I feel kind of bad for it. You just traded Innervate to take 2 damage to the face and hit your opponent for 4 when you're at a life disadvantage.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
At all.
I think it was a little bit questionable. He could have dealt 2 less damage to his opponent and not used the Innervate, but the Innervate I don't think is going to be something that was really going to be used anywhere else. Yeah.
So he traded Innervate for both players to lose 2 life.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It feels like it's not the greatest move, but with only that card in hand, what else are you saving for? Because he'd already used both Ancient of Lore, he's used his combo. There's no other situation with this entire deck where you need an Innervate.
No, I don't believe Admirable has used Ancient of Lore at all. The Ancient of Lore was on Darkwonyx's side.
Yeah, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. But I do believe Admirable is in a lot of trouble now with the Druid of the Claw charge. Or a little bit less so now with the swipe.
Yeah, this is a pretty good draw here.
Oh, well, that's a game. Looks like Admirable is going to start off with a loss. And this is not where he wants to be. While he wasn't, any significant favorite in this match, dropping this match means he has to play aggro. And Darkwonyx is playing a deck that does absolutely beat aggro.
Yeah, it seems like a very good deck against that. So could be rough here for ThatsAdmirable.
Darkwonyx on the road to 4 wins in a row.
It's pretty crazy, man, if he can actually pull that off.
Yeah.
Whereas ThatsAdmirable has to be feeling kind of bad because he was the one player that lost for his team yesterday. He might get another loss here today.
The thing is, if I wouldn't have played my Earthring and he played like a Druid of the Claw, I wouldn't really have any way to actually deal with it. Yeah. So I had to have the minions on the board, so I forced him to swipe. The thing I wanted was tempo, so he had to deal with like swipe, he had to play something every turn, so I could just play whatever I got. I was like in top deck situation in that case.
No, Claw would have killed me, yeah. I don't even know what it Soul the Forest. Yeah. Like, there was just no combination of cards that could have won at that point. This is the way the rage worked. I drew both the Innervates too, like at the worst time ever. I'm like, oh, all situational cards and Innervates, perfect.
You drew the Innervates fine, you just didn't have anything to play with it. It's just like...
No, I drew all the situational cards and Innervates. I think I'm just getting like really like dog shit unlucky in that game.
Okay.
As confident as some players seem to be with their 5-0 and undefeated claims, you might have an edge for being a better player, but that edge is not going to be at this level higher than a few percentage points. Well, so we're seeing some pretty unlikely stuff happen, and well, it's cool to see.
It is cool to see. How many wins can Darkwonyx get? We're gonna figure that out after this quick commercial break.
Stay tuned for more Fight Night.
We hope you prepared for more fight nights.
Now, game number 2 is about to start. It looks like we're going to see Hunter come out of Admirable.
Yeah, I mean, we both agreed that if this situation should come up, where Darkwonyx would have taken the first game in this risky choice of picking the Druid, he's going to be in a pretty good spot, and he is. But Admirable picks the Hunter, which I feel is the correct choice, as... yeah, I mean, without going too much into the other decks, there's going to be some face action. And the Hunter can get past some of the taunts that the Druid can put up. And I think that's the idea.
Yeah, you know, with cards like Hunter's Mark, sometimes Owls, and just the fact that you have sometimes kill commands that do so much damage, you definitely can push past some taunts. And if Druid doesn't draw those taunts, then generally Hunter will just kill it off.
It's also the fact of, I mean, the Hunter hero power just works.
That's true. But look at that hand.
It's just one innervate short of a soul-crushing...
yeah. You can't actually really ask for a better hand than this. This is actually so fantastic as far as hands go. He might mulligan one card.
That's pretty good too, actually.
Yeah, that's a pretty excellent hand also. But, I mean, when I compare it to the Hunter hand, I mean the Druid hand, this is so good. And I think throwing back the Yeti is actually completely good and fine. You don't really need the Yeti.
Well, you don't really need Ancient of Lore. I think I'd rather have a Yeti.
Well, yes, that's true. But actually, you know what? I don't even think that that's bad, having the Ancient of Lore. Because a lot of times against Hunter, I just heal up with that on turn 7. And it just, like, a lot of times that can be the nail in the coffin where Hunter's like, God, I was really reaching already, and now it's just a no-go, you know?
Alright, well, let's hit for another 2. Leper Gnome doing some work.
Yeah, doing a good job. And now with 2/2/1s out, it's going to be a little bit harder to deal with this.
I think you just hero ability.
Yeah, I would definitely hero ability here. Well, you know, kind of a slow start for Druid, but that's going to pick up really soon coming up here because he's going to have access to 4 mana for
I think he just has to. Oh, wow.
Good draw.
Now that makes your existing hand very powerful.
Alright, so let's see here. I think you probably just coin out the Keeper, right?
Yep. You kill
Seems about right.
You kill the creature on the board, and you put up a creature that doesn't die to the weapon of the opponent.
That's going to give him some control here, and don't forget he has that Mark of the Wild in hand, so that's going to be really hard to get past. Like a, you know, a 4/6 taunt. Pretty strong. And of course, this turn played itself for sure.
Yep.
That misdirection thing is you're probably going to trigger it, which is going to give him another charge, and that's pretty awesome. That's like 3
also another
additional
2 damage. I mean, it's something.
Yeah, that's true. I think you just attack here, right?
I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But Darkwonyx, he's pretty methodical.
Yeah.
We've seen him take some time in the past with some pretty clear turns.
Wants to make sure that he wins, man. It's working out for him so far.
It's not working out that well this game, I feel.
No.
That's not a lot of life for turn 4.
That's true. A lot of damage has been done. Now, if he plays Chillwind Yeti, the thing is, I think the Chillwind Yeti play is actually pretty good here.
Yeah, you can set up for a...
like a ridiculous set of taunts. But if he plays Chillwind Yeti, I think as the Hunter here, I would actually do maybe the combo. Possibly. Ooh, that's kind of okay too.
I think I'd track.
Yeah. Because that explosive track or shot,
oh
I think
my.
it's good. Well, that's a Leroy.
Yeah. That's the card that you use to kill everything.
Look at the amount of damage. This is just a really solid draw from both decks, but you can see Hunter with a good draw is just about the scariest thing ever. Next turn, though, is going to be really strong here for Druid.
I mean, you have to feel good. You have to feel confident enough in a game to drink something from your cup at that speed.
Well, Admirable doing a good job here. I think we have to see Mark of the Wild this turn, and in fact, at 9 health, I probably play your 3/3, right?
The play is Earthen Ring Farseer and Sunfury Protector in the middle of the Yeti and the 2/4.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, you're completely right about that. Thing is that will give 4 doggies.
Yep. It will also give you 2 taunts instead of 1.
Yes. Thing is, they've taken some damage as well, so they aren't going to be quite as big as taunts.
Well, you can.
In fact, I would use the 3/3 as a taunt.
As a taunt, yeah.
And I think that is what he's going to do. He's just kind of looking at it. Thing is that he's going to be able to take care of these taunts easily. We can see his hand. He's so close to lethal right now.
Yeah.
In fact,
well, he has the
Doggy
Leroy
plus
Unleash
Leroy.
combo.
Yeah. Those two, he has enough mana for that, and his weapon kills one of these taunts. Is that just going to be game? That's going to be like 7 minions out. So that's 4. Yeah, that's 10. That's lethal.
Well, let's count it up. So he gets 6 1/1s.
And a Leroy.
3 of them kills that.
That leaves
the other 3 is the weapon. So he has the Leroy and the 3 others.
Oh,
9.
he's 1 off. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
He's gonna draw his deck. No problem.
Yeah, why not? Drawing your deck is a good strat.
Oh, he's gonna
That's pretty
continue
good too.
drawing the deck.
Oh man, that's a good draw as well.
I think the game has ended.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Okay, 3 more cards.
Well, sometimes Hunter does this. Watch him draw Hunter's Mark. Come on. Oh no. Well, again, there's like no way out of this one.
This is to protect yourself against swipe, or if you plan on clearing the board, which I don't imagine you do when your opponent has that much
Yeah,
life.
I think you probably just go for face here because at 4 health there's like the nice taunt there. You know, at 4 health here with a hand that big, there's just no way. There's nothing you could even have. Well, he has 2 Mark of the Wild, so that's like his best chance ever for sure. Those plus a hero
2 Mark
power.
of the 2 Mark of the Wilds and then Wrath for 1.
Oh yeah, that's... Thing is, gaining life off of the hero power might be more important. Because he goes up to 5 here. This could give him another additional turn.
Okay.
If he hero powers every turn.
You're right, you're right.
Whereas the Wrath would have to find like an Ancient of Lore.
It's like not even close though.
Yeah.
There's just so many
it's game
charges and damage and everything. Well, we really get to see the strength of Hunter here.
I don't think he should use that Arcane Shot.
I think it's time to Leroy.
Oh boy.
Some little bit of mercy. He just wanted to place it correctly.
You want to make sure he didn't miss.
Yeah.
All right, a really strong opener by Hunter that game for sure. That was a really good draw, and of course, very well played by Admirable.
Yeah, I mean, Blizzard tried to change Hunter so it kind of plays at least a little bit against your opponent, but it doesn't seem to be quite that way from that match.
Yeah.
It just kind of did its own thing, drew most of the deck, and then, well, hey, you run out of life. What's up?
Look at that. You have no more life.
Yeah.
It's a life denial deck. It's
Yeah.
very strategical.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good play there by Admirable. Ties
Absolutely.
it up 1-1.
I think both players played quite well, but
Well, there was nothing for Darkwonyx to do, and the thing is, he had a very good hand.
He
If
did.
I see that hand against Hunter, I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to win this.
he was a swipe short in my opinion, and maybe an innervate short for the Ancient Allure, but yeah.
Yeah, it
Could have been maybe a
could've been
little
bit
better
but
in
still.
the mid to late game.
All right, well, let's go ahead, jump to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll figure out what is Darkwonyx's plan from here.
We'll be right back with Fight Night.